This 23-year-old is part of Alaska Airlines' effort to fix the pilot shortage crisis. North American Airlines have a deficit of 8,000 pilots, or about 11% of the total workforce. The shortfall could reach up to 30,000 in North America by 2025.
There's just not enough pilots, and that it's not a quick fix on pilots. And the industry at the start of the year was going to try to hire 13,000 pilots. The last decade, there's been a new supply of 5,000 to 7,000 pilots. The math just doesn't work.
The airline industry is in trouble, deep trouble. So depending on who you are and where you are around the world, you've probably heard of the fact that there is a global pilot shortage. And pre-pandemic, we had this problem, and then obviously COVID happened and everyone was like, no, it's not happening, there's less demand. But guess what? It's back in full effect. And here's the biggest issue. This is just the start. If you talk to any airline pilots or anyone within that industry, they'll let you know that this is just, the hole is this small right now, and it's only gonna get wider and wider, because in the next 5 years, you're gonna have even more pilots who are retiring. Pilots are currently being overworked, and you see right now that airlines are giving bonuses like $100,000. Literally, who else is gonna pay like, hey, come work for me, and day one, you get $100,000 just for working. And this is to show just how big the problem is and what they're anticipating for the future as well. So now, here's what's happening. You have big airlines, Envoy, American Airlines, Delta, to name a few. These guys are now taking on the problem because, like I said, it's not just an isolated issue anymore. This is an industry problem, so airlines are taking it upon themselves to try and fix it. And the best way they can do that is offer more money. You've heard stories of pilots even being called out of retirement. And right now, as a matter of fact, the last 2 to 3 years, what you've seen is airlines now reducing the requirements. Standard is about 1,500 hours. That's been reduced. Over the years, it's been reduced. And also now they're offering bonuses and incentives for new pilots to come in. If you're not realizing how significant this is, one, they're paying you from day one to work for them. Number two is the fact that now, I think this may be the first time in history where as your first day on the job, you start making 6 figures. I don't think this has ever happened before. So if you've thought about becoming a pilot or pursuing a career in this field, day one, you get hired by the airlines, you're a 6-figure income earner. Then also you have airlines giving refunds. So part of the incentives for new pilots is that they're saying, hey, if you invest in yourself right now and go to training and go get the education, go learn the skill, we're going to give you the money back. That's part of the packages that airlines are now giving to new pilots on the job. Now, how do I know this? Well, I run a flight school and we talk to airlines almost on a weekly basis. And this is what they're telling us. Not only are they now taking and using their money to help fix the problem, they're also internally training other workers within their industry or within their business to become pilots. I now know at least 3 people within Delta Airlines that were once either a flight attendant or doing something else, and Delta was like, hey, we need you to become pilots, and if you've ever thought about becoming a pilot, we'll fund it. And that's happening right now within major airlines. And so we know this internally, and that's why I'm sharing this information with you, is that if you've ever thought about flying airplanes and getting paid to fly, I honestly don't see any other industry or job that's more attractive than becoming an airline pilot or commercial pilot today. So with working with airlines, we're now offering commercial programs with Lookup Flight Academy. If you want to pursue a career and go all the way to the airlines, we'll train you from 0 all the way to commercial. And we can actually get you to your commercial pilot's license within a year. And that way you can start generating money. And then within 2 years, literally 2 to 3 years, you transition from just CFI to now corporate world. And I just imagine, don't take this as fact, I just imagine with the trend of what's happening right now, that airlines will continue to reduce the requirements for new pilots. So not only will they be handing you a check for $100,000, that number may go up one, and more than likely you may not need as many hours or additional training to get in the door. That's just my guess from everybody that I've spoken to so far. If you've thought about pursuing a career as an airline pilot, this is what the lifestyle is going to look like. Number one is the fact that it's more flexible than your typical job. So as a pilot, you're not working 5 days a week like everybody else. As a matter of fact, you're not even working every day during the month. Most airline pilots currently only work about 15 to 20 days per month. And here's another cool thing. See, like any other job where you can go in for somebody else, say if you work at Starbucks and you can't come in on a particular day, you find somebody within the schedule to take your place, guess what? You can do the same thing as a pilot. If you're going to have a downtime or life is happening and you can't make your flight on a particular day of the week, you can call in a friend who also flies the same route and say, hey, can you go on my schedule? And boom, boom. That's how it works. So you have flexible hours, you don't work every day of the month. As a matter of fact, you really work half of the month, and you're making more money than most jobs, in my opinion. You get paid sick leave. So depending on the airline you end up working for, you have a set amount of hours where you just call in or you call out. Okay, I'm not coming to work today, and you get paid regardless. Paid vacation is included, and you have a nice retirement package. This is something actually we've covered on the channel about a year or 2 years ago. As an airline pilot, not only will you start making six figures from day one in today's day and age, also your retirement package is not too shabby either. As a matter of fact, this is one of the few or maybe only career path where you become a millionaire on the job. Okay, if you have a nice 30-year career as an airline pilot, you're in the $10 million you would earn in your career. And this is including what you're making on the job and what you have in retirement waiting for you. Right now, there are hundreds and thousands of pilots who only fly one day out of the week and making over $300,000, $400,000 a year. That is your typical lifestyle, and that is the upside. But there are downsides to this job too. As you can imagine, as a pilot, you're gone. So if you have a family or you're starting a family, this will put some dent in that, because again, you don't work normally like everybody else. You're gone for days, a few days out of the week, and then you're home for a few days. If you can structure your lifestyle to that dynamic, then you're in great shape. That's one of the only downsides that I see as becoming a commercial pilot or an airline pilot, is the fact that you're not home every day. You're gone sometimes during the week, and then you're home for another half of the week. That's how it typically works. And in the past, one of the downsides for pursuing a career as a pilot is the fact that it's expensive. Okay, right now, if you go through most flight schools, you would be spending $100,000 or more to get to the airlines. But guess what? Now that the airlines are throwing money at you and they're saying, hey, we'll refund, we'll reimburse you for your training, that cost becomes a non-factor, because you're gonna get it back on the other hand. And this is one of the few careers also where you're not staying in school forever. You literally have to train for 1 year to start earning an income as a commercial pilot. And within 2 to 3 years, you already transition into the corporate world, and your income increases and increases and increases. So again, I'm going to repeat to you, if you've ever thought about pursuing a career as a pilot, or even if you haven't thought about it and you're looking for a career to get into, being an airline pilot is one I would highly consider. The industry is just, it's ripe right now for anyone who wants to get paid to fly. And the incentives and bonuses are just ridiculous. Think about it. Go for a demo flight, see if this is something that you want to do. And at Lookup Flight Academy, we can certainly help you with that. You can stop by anytime, give us a call, or better yet, use the link that I have in the description, leave your name, email, and number, and somebody will reach out to you. And again, I'm inviting you all, come down to our facility, get to see the planes, get to sit in it, go for a demo flight if you need to. And we've got our people who are excited to give you a nice tour of what your life could potentially look like. Okay, if you have any questions, leave in the comments below. Also, share this video with somebody you think might need it. Okay, so that's the 411 for today. I will certainly be updating you guys in the future as to what's happening. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Again, my name is Mike. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next video. Peace.